All right. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into another stream. If you guys are new here in the morning, we come in, we take a look at NQ price action, we see what happened during the overnight session, see what price can do going into that New York session, give you some outlines, give you some things to look for, and then from there we let you loose, and we see what price does. All right, so let's get into it. 9, 7, 10. Okay, let's get into it. Let's see what we have here today. So we typically start our analysis on that higher time frame. We take a look at we start by looking at the 4 hour. All right, so here last night we were talking a little bit about, if you guys were with us, we were talking about the fair value gap here on the hourly, and also the fair value gap here on the 4 hour, right? We still have another fair value gap above here on that 4 hour. Up there, and then that inverse fair value gap. So let's see here. So here on the 4 hour, price came down into the FHE that has formed during the overnight session and bounce there, right? Bounce there. Push to the upside here. Price is still within the OTE of the range to the downside that we talked about last night. So we talked about last night about this range OTE. So up above, price still has a 4 hour FEG from, so we still have this fair value gap up here from so let's see, from 29, 942, 50, 942, 50, to 30, 101, nope, 30, 062, 230, 062. So this FPG also lines up with the 786 of the OTE, which can act as a rejection point if price does come up there. Let's see, so that's the next one here. We are still currently within this fair value gap, so we're still going to keep a watch on here. On the hourly here, same fair value gap right there, right? On the downside, there's this fair value gap that price did tap into, and now we saw that bounce right there, right? So this 4 hour hourly fair value gap that we bounced into, currently have this hourly fair value gap right there that we are working through. We're also sweeping that previous daily high here. So let's see how this hourly is going to play out. Right there, so we have a
order filled.
So on the hourly rejection. hourly, we are looking at similar things as the 4-hour. Price remaining below the 1550 EMA. EMA is still seeing that trend to the downside, or at least a retrace to the 1550. Here price is hitting an hourly FEG from 29,758 to 29,660.25. And the hourly here, price is also sweeping the previous hourly high and the previous daily high, which can act as a rejection point for price here. So if price gets below the 50% of the previous hourly, let's get below the previous 50%, or the 50% of the previous hourly candle range, we have a chance for an outside hour. So as long as price remains below that PDH, we can see could retrace back to the downside. Right, so this is where we are looking. Right here, this previous daily high sweep, this previous hourly sweep, right? That can give us an outside hour, given that, or if price continues to kind of go down, and if price cannot hold above the 50% of this range right there, so 29. This is OT. I need to move this guy. 29,696 is the 29,696 is the 50% of the previous hourly candle here. So if price remains below the 50% of this or above it, then obviously we can continue to the upside. If we get through this 29,696, there's potential to continue down and give us that outside hour all the way, right? On the 15-minute, let's take a look. 15-minute typically gives us, is our weather wheel chart, gives us a lot of good liquidity here. So let's turn off all of our shit. Let's look at what we have on liquidities here. So price swept this one. Let's see what we still have above right there. Right there. We have this leg that manipulated above all of that stuff. That's at least for things that are nearby here. On the downside, we're looking at this one. We're looking at this guy right there. We're looking at this guy right there. And we swept these. So these are nice sweeps. There we go. So we can return to this. Previous 4-hour high has been swept too. So there's something to watch for here. Previous 4-hour low has not been swept. Previous 4-hour high has been swept. So on the 15-minute, what do we got here, right? We have this fair value gap all the way down here that price is not tapped into. So looking on the 15-minute. So on the 15-minute, we see price. Really high, and it's seen a reversal right now. So We can also see that it's a grind up during the overnight session here. So typically if we see a grind up during that overnight session going into New York, we can kind of expect the price to just drop down, right? Tuesdays are known for trend days, and Tuesday also comes down to fill the gap, right? That typically forms from the opening price to the closing price. So our opening price is all the way over here at 29,435. So there's quite a bit of room to the downside if price decides to do that, right? But for that, we need to make sure that price stays below that previous daily high. If we stay below that previous daily high, we're looking for all of these liquidities and the reactions out there. Here we can see price grind up during the overnight session, which typically gives us a LR into the New York session. On the downside, there is a bit of liquidity, and buying is on the upside as well. On that, come back and retest for reversal. So here it is all up to the previous daily high. If price continues to hold below the sweep, we will run to the downside. If price gets above the PDH, I see a continuation to on the downside. There is a 15-minute FG that has not been retested at, that's this fair value gap right there, 29,565 to 29,555. That we can watch for potential retest. Let's see, did we hit the 50? Look at that, hit the 50 right on the money there, and now seeing a little bounce there. Any fair value gaps on the 15-minute fair value gap up here as well. So there's something to note as well right there, right? That 15-minute fair value gap. Let's look at this right here and look at our daily plan that we typically use for anything. So over here on the 5-minute, right, we do have quite a bit of liquidity. So looking on the 5-minute, New York session wants to have a continuation of the Asian session to the upside. So right over here, this is what we got. This is what we're working on. We have Asia expansion, London consolidation, so New York potential expansion, which could retrace into the OTE of this overnight session. So this is what we're gonna watch here. If price 50%, there we go, PPT OTE there. We're gonna watch the OTE of this session here, right, with our daily plan. Overnight session 618 lines up pretty decently, I would say. Continuation of the Asia session to the upside. However, first we might see a retrace into the OTE of the overnight session, and then get going to the upside. Here we can watch another retest of the PDH, and if price decides to reject it back to the downside, we're going to look for some shorts. If price breaks above the PDH with displacement, we are looking for that continuation to the upside. Right, we're also looking at this 5-minute fair value gap, or at least I am. Also looking at the current 5-minute FHE that is holding price up from 29,710.75 to 29,690.75. If this FHE gives, we can use it as a retest point for a reversal into the downside, into the OTE. That's all we have, right? So we're gonna watch this 5-minute fair value gap, see if price continues to hold that. If it does, then we're gonna continue to the upside, and we're gonna watch this 15-minute fair value gap, previous weekly 50 here, liquidity on the upside. Obviously we have that outlined. If not, if price gets below this, we can use it as a retest point for potential continuation into the downside. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Love you. I appreciate you. And my face is fucking zoomed in again for some fucking reason. OBS. What the fuck? Anyways, if you guys are, make sure you go check us out, www.papertraders.io. That's the best way to see what we're all about. It's going to be right there. Come hang out with us, see what we're all about. Yeah, go check out Mr. Hayes at Hayes Beats. 3,000 followers for him on Twitter. We're going to do a lifetime membership giveaway. And 2,000 followers for me, I'll do a tracksuit reveal for my daily outfit. On that, thank you guys for watching. Love you. Appreciate you. See you next one. Peace out.